Over my many years of being in this business, I have always enjoyed doing chemical demonstrations, especially sort of chemical magic. Let me show you my favorite, at least one of my favorites, where you take an empty cup and take some water and pour the water in there and make the water vanish. Yeah? Look, I take a pencil, thrust it through there, gone. The water is gone. But of course, what I really like to do is take the magic out and replace it with science. Here is the science. I told you that I had an empty cup. Well, you don't know that I lie. I actually had a little bit of a chemical in the bottom of that cup. Affectionately, we call it super slurper. It was originally developed for agronomy, to put into soil to allow it to hold moisture more readily. It's a very interesting mix of chemicals. They're all in the family of so-called polyacrylates, and they have an unbelievable ability to absorb water. That's what has happened here. The powder absorbed the water. Well, this has all kinds of important uses. Superabsorbent diapers, for example. They keep the moisture away from the baby's bottom. Feminine hygiene products, adult incontinence products. All of these are based on this concept of super slurper. The substance is remarkably non-toxic, but now there is a concern over one aspect of it, because the material can also be used to make toys. For example, what we call water beads. That's what I have here. They don't look very big, do they? Until you put them into water. And then, after a few hours, this is what we have. These are the so-called water beads. Sometimes you'll even see them at weddings and other celebrations in vases because they're sort of attractive. What's the problem? The problem is that to children, they can look like candy. Now, when these water beads are sold, they're sold as toys for older children. I don't know what kind of toys that they make, but the idea is that you handle them, you play with them, with these water beads, you count them, whatever. But these days on TikTok, there's a challenge called the Orbeez Challenge, which is one type of water bead. And they load them into these so-called blaster guns. I don't have one. I don't want to show that because I don't like guns as toys. But the challenge is to load these beads into those guns and to randomly shoot them at people on the street. That has consequences. They can be hit in the eye. And indeed, you get hit by one of those blasters, it isn't going to penetrate you, but you will feel the sting. And there's another problem with this. The material stays around in the atmosphere. Yes, it will shrink back down as water evaporates, but the plastic stays there. Eventually breaks down into what we call nanoparticles, nanoplastics, and that's a real concern. So I'm not really in favor of using these so-called water beads as a toy, although they may be fun to kind of handle. I don't think we need that, and we certainly don't need the risk of blasting people with these beads. On the other hand, I don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater because, of course, these chemicals have uses, as I said, in the superabsorbent diapers, and also in coating pharmaceutical products to make them release at a controlled rate in the body. That's even applied to chemotherapeutic products. So polyacrylates are interesting. They're not good, they're not bad. It depends on how you use them. And as I like to say, chemicals have no morality. They don't decide how they're going to be used. We do. I think using polyacrylates as a toy is unnecessary. Using them for beneficial uses, of course, is acceptable, but you still have to be aware of the fact that we're unleashing plastics into the environment.